Hey folks, April Reigne here. I want to talk a little bit about Candace Amber Owens, also known as Red Pill Black. Now, I didn't want to go over things that have already been said. You can get all of that information, especially from Tree of Logic, who basically broke the story, at least on the side of the right, put it that way. So what I'll do is I'll leave a link in the description to Tree of Logic's videos on her, but I want to go over this stuff that I found. So here you see this newspaper article. This is from thenewstimes.com in Danbury, Connecticut. I will also leave the link that will give you to these various articles that I'm going to show you. But this one, it's the first one that has her name in it, from January 23rd, 2008. The lawsuit filed in May, which would be May of 2007, accused the city of failing to act in part because one of the callers is the son of Stamford Mayor Donnell Malloy. The exact amount the Board of Education paid the family of Candace Owens, now an 18-year-old Stanford High graduate, was made public yesterday after the advocate filed a Freedom of Information request last week. The Board of Education spent an additional $25,000 on legal expenses, including representation by a Hartford law firm, Shipman and Goodwin, LLP. School board spokeswoman Sarah Arnold said, "The case was terminated 2 weeks ago at a settlement conference, according to court records. As part of the settlement, the Board of Education denied any wrongdoing and liability. The school board has 30 days from the settlement date to pay the Owens family by check to their attorney, Norman Pattis. The entire $62,500 tab will come out of a $375,000 legal fund. The case was resolved to the mutual satisfaction of both parties," said Patrick Fahey, one of the attorneys who represented the Board of Education. He declined to comment further. Neither Pattis nor Robert Owens, the father of Candace Owens, returned phone messages. The Board of Education attempted to keep the terms of the settlement from being disclosed because of a confidentiality clause. But the Freedom of Information Commission said that any settlement funded by taxpayers is public record unless it is sealed by the court. The settlement marked the end of a year-long controversy that stoked racial tensions and political drama. Last February, at least one of 5 teenagers sitting in a car left messages threatening to kill Owens, who is black, and repeatedly used a racial epithet. In one of 3 messages, one of them referred to her as dirty and threatened to burn her house down and tar and feather her. The group included Malloy's youngest son, Sam, then 14. The mayor released a statement in March, that would be March of 2007, saying his son cooperated with police and did not know the alleged ringleader, Evan Kopak, or Owens, before the night of the calls. He has declined comment since then. Kopak, now 18, was a former friend and classmate of Owens. 2 days before the phone incident, they had a shouting match during class. School officials suspended Kopak for that, but would not discipline him and the other boys for an incident committed off school grounds unless the police made an arrest, which drew criticism from the State National Association for the Advancement of Colored People. I thought colored people was the wrong term. Owens left school for 6 weeks, saying it was traumatic to attend with the alleged callers. She returned after Kopak was arrested in late March. Another teen was arrested later that spring. School officials would not say whether they disciplined Kopak after the arrest. The lawsuit said the decision to delay suspensions amounted to a failure to protect Owens. The suit accused the city of violating the federal Title IV rule banning discrimination in schools that receive federal funding. The school system has continued to do nothing to protect Ms. Owens from repeated harassment and intimidation by the young men, I thought they were minors, and their friends, the suit stated. None of the students involved in the case attend Stamford High anymore, Arnold said. Now, this is where this story actually gets kind of good. Candace Owens was arrested in an unrelated harassment case in October. That would be October of 2007. In November 2007, Kopech pleaded guilty to being a youthful offender and had his case sealed. He will have no criminal record. He faced charges of first-degree harassment and second-degree intimidation by bigotry or bias. It is not known whether Malloy's son was charged because he is a juvenile. School pays $37,500 to Owens' family. This is January 29th, 2008. The Stanford Board of Education will pay $37,500 to settle a federal lawsuit which claimed the schools failed to protect a Stanford High School student from racial attacks. The settlement agreement, obtained under the Freedom of Information Act, FOIA, by the Stanford Times, states that the school board has 30 days to pay the $37,500 to Stanford High graduate Candace Owens and her father, Robert Owens, through their attorney, Norman Pattis of Bethany. The lawsuit was settled on January 10, 2008. William Dunn, Chief Financial Officer for the public schools, last week said that the school's legal services and legal settlements are paid out of the school board's legal services budget. There is $375,000 in that account for the 2007-2008 school year, said Dunn. Candace Owens and her father, Robert Owens, filed a lawsuit against the Board of Education on May 24, 2007, in New Haven Federal Court for knowingly failing and refusing to protect her from continued harassment from students who left death threats and racial and sexual slurs on her cell phone's voicemail this past spring when she was a student at the school. According to the settlement agreement, the Board of Education denies all claims of wrongdoing and settled the suit to avoid the cost and expense of litigation. The lawsuit, filed by attorney Norman Pattis of Bethany in New Haven District Court, alleged that the Board of Education took no action on Owens' behalf after she and her family reported a series of threatening phone calls on her cell phone to school authorities. The voicemail contained 2 minutes of death threats, racial slurs, and sexual epithets recorded by 3 or 4 male voices, allegedly white, male classmates of Owens, who is black. In one message, the callers take turns making death threats. In another, a single racial slur is repeated over and over. Now, what's really funny is when she was on the Rubin Report, she was saying that Zoe Quinn was telling her that white males were anonymously attacking her. And she says, how does she know? You know, if it's anonymous, well, how does she know that these are whites? It was a phone call. And I'm still trying to figure out where this car comes involved. Anyway, neither Pattis nor Robert Owens returned phone calls. The family informed the school of the threats and the identity of the callers on February 5th, according to the lawsuit. How do you know the identity of the callers unless you recognize their voices? She actually says that she didn't know Sam Malloy, never laid eyes on him, so how'd she get his identity? The one friend that she had that had gotten into a screaming match with her, yeah, she knows him. I'm sure she would know the color of his skin and recognize his voice. But the other ones, we're still not even sure if there were 3, 4, or 5 in a car, however that happened. Anyway, let's go ahead and continue. Despite the facts above, it doesn't sound like there were any facts that were actually proven, by the way. The defendant has taken no disciplinary action whatsoever against any of the callers, all of whom have been identified as students at Stanford High School, says the lawsuit. Upon information and belief, the defendant failed to act in part because one of the callers is the son of Stanford Mayor Donnell Malloy. Isn't that convenient? Malloy confirmed in March that his son is involved in the case and has cooperated fully with the police investigation. The mayor has made no further comments. The Owens allege in their lawsuit that their daughter was subjected to harassment in and out of school and was tutored at home because she was unable to attend school while the young men, again they're minors, who allegedly harassed her were still in school. The conduct of the defendant described above has been extreme and outrageous and has been carried out with actual knowledge that it will probably cause Ms. Owens to suffer extreme emotional distress and in reckless and or malicious and wanton disregard of such consequences. The Owens sought compensatory and punitive damages as well as attorney fees and costs. At least one of the students alleged to have left the voicemails has been arrested. The 17-year-old connected with her case was arrested on March 26, 2007, the day that Owens returned to school, accompanied by representatives from the Connecticut NAACP. In September 2007, Arnold affirmed that none of the students involved in the case are now students at Stanford High. All right, so what I'm going to do now is show you a clip from her own words about a story in high school, and I just can't help not think that this is somehow related to what we just went over.
When I was in high school, the guy I was dating had a girl in his class, or a girl that he had gone to, I think, middle school with, that worked at my gynecology office. She was just kind of like the girl behind the desk. And I guess maybe she saw a file pass that had my name on it, and you know, kids like drama, so when you see someone's name, you're like, oh, I know she goes to this gynecologist. So she told my boyfriend that I had herpes, and he believed it, and he freaked out, and it was like the most insane thing that I've ever heard in my entire life. And that's like a terrible thing for like an 18-year-old to have to go through, like explaining to your boyfriend that you don't have herpes. But yeah, that was kind of the craziest thing I've ever heard about myself.
Kind of makes you wonder, doesn't it? It's obviously her senior year, and we know both things happened during the same senior year. I'm going to fast forward because I found this tweet where Michael Cernovich actually contacts her in the midst of this whole Stop Your Doxing website campaign against her in April of 2016. So I want to show you this really quick. Now, what's great about this set of tweets is she's actually true life. I survived my first dox. Yet she claims before that she never heard of doxing. She didn't know what it was. And, she still sticks to the story that her website, Social Autopsy, is just an anti-bullying. So what I want to do is show you this. Now, we go from true life, I survived my first dox, and then the next one is, you can see he's getting a hold of her, Michael Cernovich. There you are, Mikey. I'd love to have my director interview you for Silenced. If down, DM me. Details here. Hey, cool concept. I like it. I like it long time. And then as it goes on, because you can tell it's the same tweet, I have a sequel name for you guys. If our part one didn't work, Smeared. She's already coming up with stuff for Michael Cernovich. Now, you have to remember, all of this is blowing up in her face, right? Stop Your Doxing website. So there's no way he could not have known it was a doxing website. Obviously, he didn't care, because here we are, a clip from Silenced.
I don't see why people feel the need to be anonymous. Like, I've looked at some of the comments people say all the time, like, I want to be anonymous so I can hide from my aggressors, or whatever it is. If everyone had to walk around and be a person, which is real life, right? Like, me and you can't hide who we are if we're walking down the street. So I might not walk by you and be like, die, faggot, die. it's easier when it's behind the internet, you know? You have to actually be a person and actually care about what you're saying when you're you. You still might say that stuff face to face to somebody, but it's that courage. Like, people are just too courageous, and to me, they're the cowards of society. I don't hide. If I want to say something, I'll say it.
Well, honey, there's lots of reasons to, quote, hide. Benjamin Franklin did it. He had a pen name. Pen names are really not that unusual. And it is because you want to say things and not personally be attacked or judged for it. Is that really being a coward? I don't think so. Alrighty, folks, so I just want to get some of this information out to you. I am working on another project where I have so much more to show you about this woman. I think you'll enjoy it. So stick around, subscribe, hit the bell, like, and I'll have more videos about her coming out very soon.